yet for the the Rock and Triple H match. We saw it Unforgiven. We need to get to that spot with a backstory. Again, remember, pay-per-views are built around the build-up. So you got a good build-up there, and the attractions. Pay-per-views are all attraction-driven. And having The Rock, who hadn't been the champion in a long time, and having Triple H, who he had great chemistry with and was the champion and was red hot, that's the attraction you're looking for. So to me, it made sense. But it's easy to say in hindsight, well, I'd have done this. Of course, a lot of things could have done it. I can tell you that a lot of things in my life I'd have done differently if I had hindsight opportunities.
Let's talk about the poster. We get lots of questions about this because, here's Surfer Dude. He says, this is the first WWF pay-per-view to feature Jericho on the promotional poster. Every other poster from 99 or 2000 features the classic main event stars like Rock, Austin, Undertaker, Mankind, etc. But this seems to stand out. The Intercontinental Champion. I wonder if JR remembers anything about this. I have a theory on this, Jim. Once upon a time, Chris was in the main event of WrestleMania 2000. There was even promotional stuff dropped out there that had him on the poster, on the DVD cover, things like that, before eventually he was replaced with Mick Foley. It feels like maybe the original plan was, coming out of WrestleMania, we're going to try something new. We're going to go with Jericho. And when that changes, it's too late. The promotional poster for this show had already been out there, so let's just roll with it.
Yeah, it was bad planning, knee-jerk changes. The one thing about the wrestling business, and, I know I don't communicate, not intentionally, with Bruce because he's busy. He's been my friend for 30 years, and, we text occasionally. The issue is that poor planning is an enemy. Bruce Pritchard is my 30-year friend and a great podcaster here on Conrad's conglomerate. He could tell you that one of the most frustrating things in wrestling in an administrative / creative role is the constant change. People changing their mind, changing their philosophy. Vince told me one time, I can't remember what it was. It was one of those solemn deals. He told me about my situation. Well, I brought you in, but I've changed. I brought you in. This is the first time I got let go, but I've changed my mind.
We're going a different direction,
and we're going in a different direction. And you're not in my plans. That was it. So, but I'm sure Bruce would say the same thing, certainly in confidence, that constant change and all these, the last person you talk to gets the influence type bullshit. Then talent's coming in on the day you're going to shoot it, and they're not happy about something. So they go to the old man, and they're going to lobby their case when they could have done it a week before. Or they could have actually contributed to their storyline and added some elements that they do like to it. So this is really, really frustrating. So the Jericho thing was, obviously, and it certainly was, it shows you a lack of foresight and vision that somebody thought that Jericho was going to be overbooked to be in that match. Right. He didn't deserve it. He didn't have the clout. He didn't have the star power, whatever. It was ridiculous. And, but that's just every place I've ever worked, maybe with the exception of Watts. When Watts thought an idea through, he went through every phase of it. He played it all the way out. He knew where he was going to start the angle. He knew where he was going to end the angle. And, he was going to count on the talents to get him from the start to the end with their creative input. But every other wrestling company I've ever worked in has the same propensity to change their mind at a moment's notice, simply because some of them believe, well, it can't be this easy. This can't be the answer. So we need to change. Let's fix this. We haven't even done it. Is it broken? So anyhow, that's the issue there, that Jericho fell out of favor for some reason. But who was in that 4-way match? Big Show, right?
Yeah, it was Rock and Hunter, Big Show, and Foley.
Okay, here's the deal. Hate to harp on this shit. Hunter 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
Big Show 7 feet.
Yeah.
Rock 6'4".
Yeah.
Foley 6'3" or 4".
Yeah.
Then you put Jericho at under 6 feet in that mix, and from the eye test, then that don't look right. It's going to expose Chris for being smarter than he actually is. So stupid. Every wrestlers and promoters should all be lawyers, because those son of bitches come up with a million stories to make something in their opinion right or justify their take on things. It's amazing to me. But look at how Jericho overcame that slap in the face and a show of disrespect, because he's one of the biggest stars in the world right now. Thank God he's working for us in AEW, but nonetheless, I always thought that was just a lot of lack of respect for Chris's ability and what we had in Chris. And yeah, I was partial because Jerry Briscoe and I went and recruited him, and I signed Chris and got him in and all that good stuff. And became one of my best friends over the years, including this very day. But I thought that was just totally unfair. And actually, it was bad business, Conrad. I mean, from the simple thing that all the posters, all the promotional material had Jericho prominently displayed as you said, as one of the key players.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden his name goes from above the title to also featuring, that kind of deal. So it was bad. But here's the deal: Jericho made it through.
Yes.
Came out on the other side,
yep.
Which is much to the point where you and I were talking about the other day, all those WWE guys that got let go. And look, if this virus doesn't go away, Conrad, much sooner than later, there's going to be a lot more layoffs, not only in wrestling, but everywhere. I saw the number the other day of how many people are unemployed in America right now. It's fucking scary. It's scary. So, but Jericho prevailed. He's tenacious, little son of a bitch. He's a bad dude, but that was not a good piece of business. Fundamentally promotion or whatever. So it's always some political thing, man. That's the most negative part of pro wrestling to me. The goddamn politics. Much like parallels our country right now. Politics suck.
Let's mention too, this reaction that Austin gets when he comes out. Did you ever hear a bigger pop in your whole fucking career?
It's pretty strong. And of course you hope that with all of our incessant, teasing, that the, fans at home were jacked.
Yeah.
Pumped up. No, it was incredible. There's only been a few like that even remotely were in the realm of, consideration. And, Triple H coming back from his quad injury to the Garden. That was a big one.
Oh, this is way bigger than that.
No, I'm just saying it was.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's the biggest.
Yeah.
But there are only a handful of the moments in my 40 years in the business that I would even put into that category. And the Triple H return would be one of those matches in that category. But nothing. John Cena returned. John Cena at the Royal Rumble one year. We talked about that last week or week before where it was. This damn virus thing. I don't even know what sometimes you get the days mixed up?
Yes.
Golly, boy, I do. So I thought it was just my senility, but hell, I talked to my friends a lot younger than me. Oh man, what is today? Oh, today's Thursday or whatever. But no, the pop was incredible. That was the greatest illustration of an audience making an emotional investment and truly embracing the character of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it was incredible. So of all the things I've seen, the championship matches I've called, the big shows, et cetera, nothing tops that ever in my career.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about your relationship with Austin. You knew him in real life. Y'all were buds. Was he nervous, concerned? I mean, it's his first time back. He's had this neck surgery. You also got to wonder, a guy like him, he's probably wondering, hey, not only is my neck safe, but do I look like I'm supposed to look? I haven't been able to train the way I normally would. Did he have any insecurities about coming back here, or was it business as usual for Steve?
I think he always had insecurities. I think that's what made him great. He was never satisfied totally with how he looked, I never heard him go on any soliloquy or get on a soapbox about how great his last match was. There's always something in his matches that motivated him to improve and to get better. Steve kept reinventing his game. And I think that, so no matter if he was coming off an injury or whatever, he was always a little antsy. Had that, and I truly believe, it may sound crazy, I think that's one of the things that made him as great as he was. He never was satisfied. So in other words, you've heard me use this before, probably ad nauseum, he did not reside in his comfort zone. He did not reside in an area where he was content to be status quo. And a lot of guys are. They find their comfort zone from money, from a creative spot. They're on the middle of the card, the upper main event card, whatever. They're happy just to be a part of the team, so to speak. That's what they say. But the issue is, more often than not, they're just so goddamn unmotivated and some lazy that they're good enough with their natural skills to not have to worry about improving. And Steve was a guy that always wanted to improve, and even when he was the hottest guy ever in the business, he still was unfulfilled, Conrad. And I just look at that as a trait of a true legendary superstar that always wanted to get better. And but I don't remember any specifics other than the normal stuff. How do I look? He did go about how do I look, or look at my muscles or whatever. I think he was glad to get back in the locker room, at the arenas, around the talents. He's a very popular guy, and the talents had great respect for Steve. Still do. So I think he was excited about that. But as far as his performance and how it was going to go, I'm sure he had some apprehensions, because now we are getting ready to get him back in the game. Boots, black tights, all that stuff. So I'm sure that was probably cemented in his mind. When I do finally get back, how's it going to be? And the great thing is, he would even say, man, I don't know. I've been gone, and hell, they might not remember who the hell I am. Are you kidding? So all those apprehensions were addressed on that entrance, as you mentioned so well, about how big that pop was. It was extraordinary.
Go watch that match just for the pop. It's unbelievable. What also is unbelievable is that it's been 31 years since we covered Wrestle War 89. The first time. We're going to dive into it deep next week. Is the Music City Showdown, the main event. Man, and what a match it is for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Flair and Steamboat. We've also got Sting working with the Iron Sheik. That really happened. Michael Hayes and Lex Luger. That happened. The Dynamic Dudes and the Samoan SWAT team. Dick Murdoch and Bob Orton Jr. Butch Reed and Ranger Ross. The Great Muta and Doug Gilbert. Okay, the undercard is not that great, but the main event, my goodness, what a performance. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. We're going to talk about it next week right here. If you've got a question, be sure to follow us on Twitter at JR Grilling. Until next week, he is at JR's BBQ. I am at Hey, it's Conrad, and we are out of time. We'll see you next week right here on Grillin' JR with the voice of wrestling, Mr. Jim Ross. I've been telling you for a long time that SaveWithConrad.com can save you money, but don't take my word for it.
I'm calling some of our folks that we've helped out, really just trying to get their story. What made you come to Save with Conrad?
The podcast. I mean, to be honest with you, Dave, I was working with Steven. Steven, man, that guy was on top of everything. It really made us very, very comfortable with the whole process. Steven was definitely a 5-star. As public school teachers, you're giving so much of your time to help these kids out that don't have it. We're living a life in this house right now of luxury that we both are extremely blessed to be in because of you guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think I reached out at like 10 o'clock at night, here in Washington, and Conrad responded to my email within 5 minutes. He's like, "We'll hook you up, dude." And I was like, "This is the guy I want to work with." We live in an area that is not affordable for teachers. And as soon as I talked to Conrad and Steven, they were just like, "We can get this done." And it was just like, we never stressed about it at all. From your end, you guys were just out of this world for us. We have 4 kids. As soon as we found this house and reached out to you guys, it was just like, it happened. It was just such a smooth process. I mean, I'm telling you, it was the easiest process to go through.
If you had a friend or a coworker that was looking for help.